How's everyone doing? I am live on YouTube because I saw WWE Evolution where the whole event stood out like everything was good. All the matches were good. Where we saw Trish Stratus and Lita defeat Mickie James and Alicia Fox. Nia Jax last eliminated Ember Moon to win the Battle Royal to get a future women's title match. And we saw Toni Storm defeat Io Shirai to win the Mae Young Classic. And we saw Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Natalya defeat the Riot Squad, which was Ruby Riot, Liv Morgan, and Sarah Logan. And we saw Shayna Baszler defeat Kiari Zane to regain the NXT Women's title. And we saw Becky Lynch defeat Charlotte Flair in the last woman standing match, the first ever, to retain her title. And that match really stood out because they both did everything they could to get the women's title. It was the first ever, and we finally saw Charlotte Flair lose a first ever match that was women's, because she's won every other match, every other first match, the first women's Hell in a Cell, and the first women's Iron Man match. But it was a good match because they both went out there and did everything, and they both wanted to walk out women's champion. But in the end, it was Becky Lynch that put all the stops, and that match kept on coming close. It was close every time that they did something where it looked like they were not going to be able to get up, and then they did. So that was good right there. They just would not stop. They would just not stay down at all. And that match took nearly half an hour. And it was a great match. All in all, it was a great match, and it was a great way. It was a great way to have the SmackDown main event of the pay-per-view. And now we know that Becky Lynch is gonna hold on to the SmackDown Women's title, and we're gonna see who's next to challenge Becky Lynch for the women's title on SmackDown. It could possibly be Asuka, it could be Naomi. Those are the top two that of the possibility of challenging for that title. Those are the top two. But I guess we'll see what happens, because I think the feud between Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch is over now. Because they've gone out and they've done everything. And it's time for someone else to get in line and challenge Becky Lynch for the SmackDown Women's title. And then in the main event, we saw Ronda Rousey beat Nikki Bella, despite Brie Bella being out there and interfering, even though they almost had her because of Brie getting involved. But in the end, Ronda Rousey still squashed Nikki Bella like a bug, because it wasn't enough. Becky Lynch, Brie Bella and Nikki Bella have not done mixed martial arts. Ronda Rousey has done judo and various martial arts ever since she was a kid. And that is why I knew that she dominated in UFC. So there was no way that she was gonna lose tonight to Nikki Bella and lose the women's title. She made her submit, and she tossed right after she tossed Brie Bella over the announce table like a feather. But it was all a great match though. They both, like, she put an effort into it, but in the end, she was no match for the cross arm breaker at all. And then after the match, all of the women, all of the locker room of the event tonight were out there and celebrated with Ronda Rousey. Everyone was out there. Every woman wrestler that are superstars came out to celebrate with her. And even Becky Lynch, and her and Becky Lynch both had belts right there. And it was a good pay-per-view, but now I look forward to Raw tomorrow to see what's next for Ronda Rousey, and then on SmackDown, what's next for Becky Lynch. That's what I look forward to this week in WWE, and I also look forward to what's next for the NXT Women's title on Wednesday night, because it's all like, everything is good. Like, everything that the WWE is doing is good right now, and I can't wait to see all of these events in the coming days with the women.